Earth speaks. Receive yourself. Dear friends, I am the voice of the earth. I am beneath your feet and greet you all with warmth and a deeply felt welcome from my heart. I am with you, so very close by. Feel my presence in the air you breathe, the water you drink, in your own body that accompanies you in this life from beginning to end. I want to feel you, to absorb your presence, because your consciousness enriches me. I can learn from you, and also you can learn from me, if you want to do so. We are here to create and work together. You have a consciousness that by its very nature is both creative and resourceful. And because of that special type of consciousness, you are distinct from other living creatures on earth. Everything that exists has a consciousness, a soul, but you have a creative power in you that distinguishes you from all other living beings. You are on your way to becoming gods. You are gods in the making, and you are learning how to become aware of and to accept your creative power. However, you are often not conscious of your creative power, or you don't know how to handle it very well. There is a part of you that feels lost, rejected in this life on earth. A part of you that is not connected with the source of everything, the source that carries the whole of life. And I want you to encourage you today to engage in this connection with the greater whole, the source God, if you will, that carries you throughout your life. It's the only connection through which you can truly feel unconditional security and an absolute acceptance of who you are. That connectedness is what you are looking for, and from that grounded connectedness, your creative power will take on a positive expression. When you try to create without that basic security of feeling carried by a larger field of love, when you, with your creative power, stand separately, you feel lonely and lost, and then this creative energy can, at times, turn against you. Just look at your everyday life, at how often you feel cut off from the source that carries you, and then you begin to fret, your emotions confused and chaotic. All this has to do with that lack of connectedness and of not being able to let go of trying to control life, not knowing that you are being carried by the source. How do you make the connection with that source, the essence of who you are? Wherever that source reveals itself, there you are also. You are not actually separate. There is a web of life that surrounds and permeates all forms, all creatures. You are this whole web, but at the same time, you are a part of it. You are simultaneously part and whole. This is perhaps difficult to grasp with your mind, but you don't need to understand it with your intellect. It is a feeling. And my gift to you, what you can learn from me, is to surrender to this vast web of life. Just look at the natural world, at non-human life. All beings in that web sense that they are carried and nourished, supported by the environment, while they develop their own individual potential. A flower that blossoms in the field makes use of the forces here on earth, the sun, the wind, the rain. It asks not whether there will be sunshine at the right time, or water in the ground, or the shelter of a tree with sufficient shade. It expects that the right circumstances will present themselves, and even when the right conditions don't come about, this natural life energy surrenders to what comes to it, and if necessary, it will die in order to flourish again in another form. That power of surrender is present in the whole of nature, the animals, the plants, the stones. Everything that lives knows how to behave inside this all-encompassing web, except you, who so often seems to be confused and without roots, adrift. Why is that you are confused and adrift precisely? Because of your great abilities and talents, your creative powers, the path back to clarity and to feeling rooted once again is also the path to a peaceful implementing of your creative power. And the joyful experience of that is by way of the earth, by returning to a oneness with all other life around you. That's the key, the solution. Try to feel that unity for a moment, starting with your body, which is my gift to you. Feel life flowing there. Feel your body as a living field of energy. Don't look at what's wrong or where there is a problem, but merely feel life itself for a moment, flowing and pulsing throughout your body. This body is beautiful and innocent, an expression of the meaning of the life force. Allow the sun to shine on it and imagine that you are completely in that light and that all the cells in your body drink in the power of sun, which symbolizes so much more than just physical light. And the sun, a heart is beating, the same as in me. And the sun pulsates a wisdom, a knowing. The sun is the fundamental creative force in this solar system. I absorb its light and energetic force, which I then transform into life forms. You are part of the sun, and you could say that you come from the sun, although I mean that metaphorically. You carry the creative force of the sun in you, and you are here to instill that force into me so as to bring forth flourishing and abundant life on earth. In return, my gift to you is that I receive you. I provide shelter for you in which to live, so you can enjoy this life. Trust in me. Many of you mistrust me. Not consciously perhaps, but there is so much that you were taught by the traditions of the many dominant cultures on earth. Their doctrines and theories say that the body is, in one way or another, inferior, that nature is below humans and is less developed, less important, that this nature in you, your lust for life, your senses and emotions, and what the body wants, must all be transcended for the benefit of spiritual truth, although no one knows exactly what that entails. You are so alienated from your human nature, your unity with me, the earth, that this makes you sad and lonely. I see your alienation daily. You are bombarded with stimuli from around you, and especially from your own confused thoughts. You have lost your way because your fundamental connectedness with the field of power that I am has escaped you. Now give yourself over to my strength and let me receive you. Let yourself be who you are and don't try so hard. to be different than what you are, to feel differently from what you feel. You are good as you are. Your way is to be who you are and never to be someone other than who you are. Your way is to be always yourself, just as does a flower, when it blooms, reveals its deepest purpose. So you come into a blossoming when you allow your heart to radiate as it naturally wants to, without trying to restrict and stifle it by ideas that are not of your nature. To return to your natural state of being, it's necessary that you rely on yourself and not on a so-called higher self on which you should focus. Rely on your own humanness and put a listening ear to that. What does the human being in you want? This whole idea that you should focus on a higher order of existence, a hierarchy that is elevated above the earth, is a misconception. You are not here to transcend your humanness. It is precisely in your humanness wherein lies the connection between heaven and earth, between solar power and earth power. Precisely by being human can you become complete and whole, and therein lies your destiny. It's not by suppressing your humanness, but by embracing it that you come home to yourself, and you become that beautiful flower that you are destined to be. What's this humanness that has become so suppressed, judged and condemned from the head through thinking? Your humanness has to do with your feelings. You are here on earth to learn by daring to feel, by allowing your emotions to be, and by riding the waves of those emotions. Learn to live from your emotions and dare to trust that doing this will bring you home. You are carried within a dynamic field of movement, which naturally strives from balance and growth. However, you don't believe that concept because your emotions often seem confused and difficult to understand. But your emotions bring you home. Your emotions are the messengers of your soul. By listening without reservation to your emotions, or what you may call the inner child, you will discover where things have become unbalanced within yourself. Your inner child, your emotions, is leading you to your roots. Imagine for a moment that you see a little child come to you, a child that arises from your body, from that deep place within yourself, where you do and maintain a balance of energies. Take the child on your lap, let this image unfold by itself, or simply create a connection with your feelings. You don't have to see anything. In you is a living child, a child of the earth and of heaven. It wants to tell you what it needs. It wants to point the way to feeling peaceful and secure on earth. Let this child tell you how it feels, what emotions run high in it, and allow this child to express them. If you allow the child to do this, you will see that it becomes more peaceful and happy. You can take it by the hand and together with this child, move through life in close connection with your humanness. What you all need most profoundly on your path is to receive yourself, to really say yes to all aspects that arise within you. Only when you actually say yes to everything within you, your thoughts, your emotions, your fears, your confusions, can your creative power extend to and embrace everything. Your creative power, which I compare here with the sun, is a radiant power that extends from within to without, a power that wants to give and unite and manifest. I, on the other hand, am a receiving power, the receptive earth that absorbs, These two forces need each other to actually arrive at a balanced creation, a co-creation. You have both forces within you, sun and earth, giver and receiver. You can more and more develop the receiving strength, earth power in you by truly saying yes to your own humanness, by truly having compassion for the deepest needs within you, as well as the darkness and negativity that prevail there. Can the light from this inner sun shine upon you? Can it warm you? That's why you are here, to form a bridge between heaven to earth. If you truly know how to receive and also do not judge any aspect of yourself, then your creative power, the rays of this sun, really penetrate to the core of your humanness and to the core of the earth. Then you become illumined within by your own light, your own warmth. Allow that to happen. Be the earth. Imagine that you are the earth and let this sun shine upon you and penetrate you. See how this sun puts everything within you into the light and does so without judgment so that everything is allowed to be. Feel the relief of that. Nothing is forbidden. Nothing is bad. Allow this sun to shine. Imagine that you are lying flat on your back on the earth and that you take in everything and feel, I am allowed to be who I am. By being who you are, you become who you are meant to be. The sun and the earth united within you. This union of forces manifests itself as a sense of peace and well-being, and are the signs that you have made the connection, that you have put up the bridge. If you feel quiet and peaceful within yourself, then that is good. You don't have to do more than that. The rest comes of itself. I ask you to pay attention to this receiving from the earth, knowing that you are one with me and saying yes to yourself. If you know how to embody this connection, you truly bring down the light to earth, and also you become a giver, a creator, a radiant sun. You will see that these two apparently opposite things are one and the same thing. The giving and receiving are one, not two. A beautiful flower, a rose, gives by being itself, by knowing that it's carried by all the nourishing elements around it. You are like that. Be like a rose. Trust that you are nourished by the elements. The giving and sharing of your beauty happens by itself, by being who you are. I greet you all. Accept my gift. Channeled by Pamela Cribb. Divine blessings to all. Don't forget to subscribe.